You kept asking for it. We are continuing the Polus map today with electrical security and O2. And I'm not sure if I still have all the parts to... Yes, we are back after 1 year of procrastination. We are finally finishing the Polus map. I can't tell you why. Maybe it was too big, too frightening, too... I don't know. Well, all that counts is that we are continuing the map. We have electrical security and O2, and we start with electrical. The idea for today's video is I enjoy some beautiful tea, then print out all the maps, put it onto cardboard, and finally we will, well, create some walls and then beautiful details with clay and bring it all together to one vivid map. It's the 5th part of the Polus map. It's huge. It has almost twice the size of the Scaled map, which I also completely created with cardboard and clay. And now I shut up so you can enjoy cardboard cutting sounds. This is the size of today's part of today's map. Let's talk about the map designer for a minute. Well, you know that I complained about the map designer in former videos. Not today. Today will be different. Well, we will get to some certain points where I'm really struggling, but I'm so thankful for the beautiful map design. We have the walls right now and our hot glue gun. And let's see which magic we can do with it. Oh, this is 8K. So the main problem I was facing during creation, I had to decide where to place all the different walls. Because the perspective of the game, it's 2D, and I'm creating in 3D, as you know. Oh, there will be one final part of the Polus map. Make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, so you will get a notification. It may only take 5 years, just kidding. This time it's way quicker. The next video is around the corner. We put in some hot glue sauce in between the walls. And slowly we can recreate and place all the beautiful cardboard parts. Oh. This is part 1. Oops. On YouTube there is this kind of video where people create parkours and put their animals into these with hamsters. I was thinking about this while creating which type of animal I could put inside my Polus map once it is finished. So we have a lot of textures. On the walls we have the outside walls, which you can see right now. Crystal helped me to cut them out because look at that, it's a ton of texture for all the different walls. And then the inside parts where we will also create the clay details, and Andy did some beautiful retouching work on this with Photoshop and removed the elements so that I could create them with clay in security, for example. Or this room, which was O2, part of O2. And now that we have all the walls in position, we can plan and go ahead with a top view of the walls. In former parts, I also used the same color. I thought it looks way more elegant than just the cardboard look. The inside part. Look at that. Looks so professional. I'm looking forward to this part, because we start working with clay. We have security, we have the shelf, we have the television screens, 3 of them, and a lot of videotapes. We start with the shelf. At which time is Among Us happening? I'm asking because we see a lot of old school tech stuff, like the videotapes, for example, and old video recorders. These are the videotapes. And we are in space. It's somehow a romantic look on this whole space theme and the astronauts. So we have like 9 different videotapes, all lying on the floor and in the shelves. With gray clay, I create these tiny spinning elements of these. After often hardening, we can paint some further details, so it's getting quite tiny. This time we have the 3 television screens, one bigger one in the middle and on the left and right side. And I think I will also add some white paint to the screens so that they are quite strong. Then we have this tiny table right next to the entrance of security. And let's have a look what is lying on this table. Okay, a few paperwork and additional tapes. Another one on the right side. This folder with paperwork. And the first room, security, is finished and ready to go into the oven.
Part 2.
Ooh. Next room, what do we got? Oh yeah, we have this beautiful hallway with these 5 spins, and I think we may have seen them also in different parts of the Polus map, but honestly I can't remember, because it's been such a long time. You kept asking and asking for the 5th part, and without you guys I would have never started again. This project was maybe a little bit too huge. I got discouraged during the process. Yeah, we have these beautiful green boxes all over the map. On this one is this red box, and we have some tools lying on this. A shovel on the left side. And once this part is finished, on the left side of the hallway we find the hole in the ground, the tunnel for the imposter. And we have some building site elements and details there. But let's finish this beautiful tiny shovel first. Okay, looking good so far. I'm wondering if the developers of Among Us will bring out a new map. The latest map with airship was released, I think, a few months ago, at the end, autumn of last year. Yes, I think so. And as you know, I created this Rubik Cube with the airship map on top of this, which was really crazy, but a fantastic creative challenge for me. The vent, which is broken. So we fold it over, we bend it like this. It looks like this in the end. And then we have some mud and rocks lying on the ground. Also this purple piece. And now my favorite room, O2. With beautiful bird noises in the background. And we start with the trunk. We have this gigantic tree right in the middle with the leaves and some additional elements. We have the screen which is hanging right onto the trunk. We have the hole in the ground and a pipe on the lower left corner. Now we have to make it stand up. Maybe adding some trunk elements and details. Like this eye. Is it called eye? The eye of the tree. As if he is watching you while you're hiding behind the trunk. Now we are placing the monitor, the screen, and then for the leaves, I decided to go with a mixture of two different kinds of green. We have the tropical green, and I think I threw in some apple green and olive. Is it called olive green? Yeah. So, with the pointing tool and my toothbrush from years and years ago, we create a beautiful texture, putting it aside because we have another branch which is hanging down and which we can add after oven hardening. Okay, everything is finished. Now we have some tubes, and these are the connection tubes from one room to another. So the tubes, the pipe starts in the one with the tree and then goes into the one with the bottles, with the milk bottles. Just kidding. These are O2 bottles. Oh, what do you think? Well, let's put this into the oven. Now, the other O2 room. I'm struggling with the perspective. Just a little bit of this machine, the one with the ventilator on top. Should it? How is it? Okay, here's the problem of perspective of this map design. There is a piece right in the corner of this tiny room. It has a certain height, which is 2 centimeters. The room height has 2 centimeters, but on top of these 2 centimeters we have this tube, this pipe, which goes into the wall, which is only 2 centimeters high. You guess it. It doesn't really make sense. It's like a shelf in a room which is bigger than the room, but it looks like as if it is fitting into the room. Great map design after all. Love it. So the solution I'm going for is I'm creating two parts of this machine which look like as if they are just one machine. Not really sure if you get me, but it makes sense in my mad mind right now. We have the ventilator in the front and the other part behind. But let's first work on the front part and the front elements with some further tubes. Well, nobody will see them because bottles are standing in front of them. The connection piece of the tube, which is connected to the other room with a tree. And then we have also this generator. Is it a generator? I can't remember the task which you have to do right here. Is Among Us still a thing? Are you still playing it? Are people still playing it? For me, Among Us is somehow a bad weather game. So in summer, I guess nobody is playing it when you can go outside. But once you spend some time inside, make it comfortable. Yeah, these are all the water bottles, by the way. No milk jokes, because I don't want to start another milk war with Danny. Haven't heard from him in a while. Hope he's alright. So, we put this into the oven, and now the boiler room. Oh, I forgot this in the intro. People will now complain that this room isn't really existing because I didn't mention it at the beginning, and it's still beautiful with all the tiny tubes on the wall and this boiler. Then we have the gigantic tubes, which is connecting down to the water with these wheels on top of it. So there's a lot of beautiful stuff to build. Another water tank inside and some elements. It is a water tank, right? looks like, I don't know, 100 liters. As we already mixed the color of these gigantic tubes, we can use them right now, and then we will also create 2 elements of the bigger room. Right next to O2 we have the door, garbage, and also the lever right next to it. I'm using very thin wire to stabilize these beautiful wheels, and that they work, that I can put some clay right in the middle. And after finishing the door and the lever, we can switch over to electrical. Oh yeah. It looks complicated, but I guess it really isn't, because we have 4 times the same generator, which we basically will create just with a beautiful electrical effect. And we have the electricity box hanging, the wall box for charging your car in the background, and that's it for this room. But these coils, because we have 6 on each generator, will take some time to create. Now we have finished these gray boxes together with lightning symbols on it, and these are the first part of the coils. We have the silver part, and on top of it, you can see it, comes this red brownish piece, which I will cut after oven hardening and assemble it.
Part 3. Yes.
Okay, before everything is freshly baked, I will use the paper clips to secure this hole in the ground, and we can stick the first sign onto it, painting these beautiful crosses. And now the fun starts, placing all the clay details into our part 5 of the Polus map. We have the vent, for example, and right next to it the security room with all the tiny tapes. And we can make them spin right now with a tiny gray detail. Ah, this looks so beautiful. This color combination of this red wine red and the shelf right next to it with a folder. We have the screens. And this room is almost finished. We can now, well, place some of the tapes on the ground. I have some leftovers. I think I may have created a little bit too much of these tapes. And now we go the whole way down, and we are in O2 with a tree.
Last but not least, part 4.
So we start placing the trunk to get somehow the perspective and the dimensions of all the other different items in this room. This one goes right here, and with the super glue we can also add the leaves. And now with a hole in the ground, only the wires and the tube are missing in this room. This tube will be connected to the lower O2 room, the one with all the bottles, so it will be connected right to the wall. And I thought it would look nice to add this white reflex on the screen. These are the 3 details which we have. Looks so adorable. And now all the weird wires connected to the tree as well. We have a red one, a blue and a yellow one. And you're ready to do some tasks in this room. And we can go to the second O2 room. With all the tubes, the bottles filled with milk. Can place them all over this place. I think in total we had 10 of these blue bottles. The boiler room, the lowest room, which we will create with tiny tube elements on the wall. We are almost there, about to finish today's map piece. We have these gigantic tubes left with the beautiful valves, with these steering wheels. One is placed on the left tube, one on the right. And I totally forgot about these walls, the one with the garbage task on it. So we are gluing the printout onto the wall, and then we have the clay door and the lever, which goes right next to it. Whoops, I forgot one of the tubes. And then we are going to assemble all these generators in electrical with the different coils, 6 on each of these pieces. You can see that I colored them. I made these gray clay blocks a little bit darker from the top to imitate the shadows. And now a piece of wire for a beautiful lightning effect, electricity effect. We put in some acrylic paint, white acrylic paint, and we can place these generators in electrical. Last working step for today, this beautiful fence, which we have. It has a different pattern. It goes diagonal, but this way the mesh is way more stable. I can't believe it. Guys, I guess that's it. Polus Part 5 with electrical O2, security, and don't forget about the boiler room. This is part 5 of the Polus Map. Now I'm so curious to see all the different parts combined. So this one would go right here. Then we have the very first part I ever created, which goes right here. We have the dropship connection piece, which goes right there. And then we have 3 different single rooms right here. And some boxes, random boxes. One final part of the Polus Map will come in the future with a landscape around where I can place all these pieces together. Well, it took some while to finally get into the project again, but now I'm excited to finish this. Have a beautiful weekend. Take care, guys. Bye.